Welcome back to another Millennial in-depth video. I'm giving you some Selena vibes, the red lip, dark hair, bangs. I'm sure y'all were able to piece that together. I didn't need to explain it. Today we're going to be talking about life insurance, but let me do the intro. If you are new here, hit that subscription button below and turn on the notification bell so you get every single time I upload a video. So this video is also following the same concept from the previous, where I asked a question on Instagram, which if you are not following, hit that link. It's a good time. I asked a question on Instagram talking about what are things that millennials need to know about, but we really just don't have an understanding like we should. And life insurance came up, and I have been avoiding talking about life insurance like the plague, but here we are. I am your friendly future millionaire. I'll work on it. But here I am trying to give you the info, the 411, so you can be prepared to live your millennial life, your best millennial life. So what is life insurance? Life insurance is a safety net in case of your untimely demise. That is it way to say that without even blinking. Anyway, in case you pass away, this is going to make sure that you are not going to be an unnecessary burden on your dependents, on your family, I guess your friends, depending on your beneficiary. And a good life insurance policy is going to cover your income, your assets, your debts, right? To make sure, because private student loans, y'all, they don't go away when we die. I thought they did. They don't. They come after your family, right? So your life insurance is going to cover that, as well as your future expenses, like sending off kids to college, right? Now, we're also going to be talking about the scams that come along with life insurance, right? A lot of things we've been seeing on the Instagrams, and can we really use our life insurance policies as investments? And the last thing, we're going to talk about the different kinds of life insurance and what life insurance you might need, how much it might cost, and all those good things. Now, let's talk about the scams on Instagram, because I love talking about that, right? What you want to do whenever you're talking to people on Instagram, they're DMing you about this really great deal, or they can make you thousands and millions of dollars. Proceed with caution. Always, every day, all day, please proceed with caution. Because what's going on now, similar with the Forex DMs, a lot of people are telling you how to invest with your life insurance and, doing all these. First of all, I don't want to do that, but you can, right? And usually people who invest with their life insurance are people who are very, 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 very wealthy. And I'll tell you what, the type of life insurance that these people are talking about or trying to sell you are cash value plans or cash value policies. And essentially what you want to think about it is as if it's a bank, right? So you are putting your money in there and they are investing just like banks do. And they're giving you a small smidgen, tiny piece of money, tiny bit of returns in return for giving them your money to invest with. However, you can do it on your own. I have been talking about investing with y'all for years. You don't have to invest through a life insurance policy that's going to give you pennies in comparison to what you can make if you just steadily invested into an index fund or an ETF. You would get better returns, right? And if you don't believe, you can Google and you can do the search to see what are the returns usually on a life insurance policy in relation to the S&P 500, which has been giving us a 10% return for the last 60 years. But do your due diligence, right? So this is usually the option that people will take if they are very wealthy and have maxed out all their other tax deferred accounts or retirement accounts, and then they have this as another vehicle to, invest money. If that's not your thing, if you have not maxed out your Roth IRA, your IRA or your 401k, you don't really need this type of policy to use as an investment. Just a little bit of thinking to do, right? So let's talk about the different policies that are available to you. First of all, there's tons of them, but the two main ones that you often hear will be term life insurance and whole life insurance. Again, whole life insurance is usually for people who are a lot more wealthy. 99% of the time, us average Joes, people making, a living, working hard, middle class, we need term life insurance. Now, another question that comes up when people are talking about term life insurance, the ones that I've gotten on the Instagrams, is whether or not I should rely on the life insurance that my employer gives me. If you expect to stay at your employer forever, for a very long time and retire from there, then, I guess you can. It's oftentimes that you're not going to be getting enough money from the life insurance policies offered from your employer. And if you do happen to quit, then that policy no longer applies to you and you cannot use it. So that is something you want to keep in mind if you're jumping from job to job. Do not rely on the life insurance policy from your employer. Another thing that's really important is that there's no time like the present, no time like today. I know we are millennials, and like I said, we don't like talking about retirement because it's not sexy. We don't like talking about, life insurance because it's like, I don't want to talk about what happens after I die. That's also not sexy. There's no time like the present, y'all. I promise. The same way it is with retiring, it's the same way it is with life insurance. It will be cheaper or cost less for you to get a life insurance policy now when you're in your late 20s, early 30s, when you're in, good health, than if you try to get it when you're 50 years old. The premium is going to cost you more. That's just the state of the world, unfortunately. So it is something that you want to think about, particularly adding into your budget if you can afford it. Term life insurance is going to be a policy that you could take for either 5 to 20 years, which is usually the policy that people will take, as opposed to whole life insurance, which is like permanent life insurance. Not like, it is permanent life insurance, costs a bit more. And if the hair, I had to take the glasses off. Apparently, lashes and glasses don't match. Anyway, if you are considering getting whole life insurance, you want to keep in mind that it is a permanent policy. And if you choose to cancel it, there are going to be fees that you have to pay. So it's very similar to like back in the day when we had those contracts with our cell phones. And, if you try to leave and go to a different policy, it's going to cost you more. Same idea, same ideology. These permanent and whole life insurance policies usually cost 4 to 10 times more than term policies. So again, this is more of a vehicle for wealthy people who have maxed out their retirement funds. So please, just some friendly thinking. Please consider your situation when you are trying to figure out which policy you should get. In addition, when you're trying to figure out, well, how much should it be? Should I have $1 million policy? Should I have a $500,000 policy? What you want to do is you want to add up all of the things that you could potentially have to pay, whether it's a mortgage or student loans, and use a life insurance policy calculator to help you figure it out. They're all over the internet. Do not pay for a life insurance policy. They are free to help you figure out your specific situation and how much the policy should be. There are a couple of things that can also affect your premium. Your health. They are going to have you go to do a physical with your PCP, your primary care physician. And when you apply for life insurance, it does get a little bit invasive, as when you're buying a home and pretty much anything in adulthood. Your privacy means nothing. They're going to ask you tons and tons and tons of questions. It usually takes about 4 to 6 weeks before your life insurance policy kicks in and is in effect. If you do not want to head to the calculator and you're just like, Melissa, give me the details, a really nice rule of thumb is to multiply your current income by 6 or 6 to 10, 6 or 10, 6 through 10. You want to have a policy that is 6 to 10 times more than your current income in order to be a nice safety net. You can also multiply your income right now by how many years you have until retirement. So if you're retiring in 25 years and you're making $100,000 now, you would multiply 100,000 times 25 to get the number for the policy that you should have. One last thing that can affect your policy, your premium cost, is your risk factor. I know that one of my colleagues had a husband or has a husband who like snowboards or like jumps out of mountains or whatever he's doing. And their policy was a little more expensive compared to hers, where she is just a teacher living her regular life. So those are the things that you want to think about when you are considering opening a life insurance policy. Please be wary of the scams on Instagram. If someone comes to you saying that they can turn your life insurance policy into thousands, or if they don't come from a reputable company, look up at reviews, look up people who've had experiences with them. So, okay. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. Again, remember, watch out for the scams of people who are coming on Instagram talking about they can turn your life insurance policy into millions. Maybe for them, not for you. It usually doesn't work out well for you. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.